Welcome back to the Try You channel, where we don't give a titty sprinkle what you had for lunch. And today, well, I should say tryyou.com. Go there, find your top 10 in music, books, movies, and find others with the same taste as you, or different taste for that matter. Just come on there and get a feel for what we're doing. We're going to talk about our top 10 movies again. I'm Rob, this is Neil, as always, and I'll recap. We're on number 9, so I only got to do one, which is, and my number 10 movie was In Bruges and Bruges, which reminds me of when I was in, I think, 8th grade. We rented a movie with my friend's house, and his parents were a little bit older, and they weren't the brightest, I'd say, and you knew this at 14 even, but we had a Denzel Washington movie, and he picked up, and he has Playboys out too, which is odd. Like, you could get to them. And pornos too at 14. If you wanted to watch a porno, you waited his parents weren't home or had him jog one over to your house. And he gets the movie, my friend's dad, and he starts looking at it, and he says, Ricochet, what the fuck is this? And he's talking to us kids, and I'm thinking, that's Ricochet. And he didn't know what it was, and he was pissed. I think he was mad that somebody would title a movie. He probably thought it was some French shit.
I actually like that movie.
I don't remember.
John Lithgow, and he drugs Denzel Washington and gets him in all kinds of shit. It's pretty cool.
Now you say that, I remember it some, but all I remember is Ricochet. What the fuck is this? It was funny, but that's how I did. That's how I sounded when I tried to go in Bruges. But I'll move on to my number 9 movie on the list, which I love. Of course, if it's on my top 10, I like everything about it. It's V for Vendetta. And this is kind of an anomaly for me. Most of them are done by the director. But this one's directed by James McTeague. And I think he had something to do with The Matrix, maybe. But there's anything else by him that I know of that I would consider for any list, really. But V for Vendetta, I saw in the theater. I didn't know anything about it really going in, so that had an impact on me. I remember leaving the theater thinking, this is one of my best movies I think I've ever seen in the theater. And I still feel that way about it. It's one of my favorite adaptations of a comic book, and well, it is my favorite adaptation of a graphic novel. It's Alan Moore.
I still got to read that.
Yeah, anything Alan Moore, I highly suggest.
I was telling you that one time about that guy I worked with. His name was Pants, which was real. He was a character. And then on the 5th of November, he did have a party where they'd build that, like in the movie, and blow it up with firecrackers and stuff. That was pretty cool.
Is he terribly into the movie then? I would assume.
I think he was into the graphic novel like you.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was a big time reader.
Okay. Yeah, Alan Moore was my first experience with the graphic novel medium, pretty much, because Watchmen, which could go in my top 10 favorite books. I think it's that good. But I'll move on. I'd heard Alan Moore doesn't like the movie that well because they kind of softened it a little bit, and they something they did with politics. He thought they could have just had it. He thought they didn't need to change the countries like they did, and I think he's probably a pretty harsh critic because the book is really well done, and Natalie Portman's character is actually a prostitute in the graphic novel, so it's a lot darker. And I was thinking earlier today, because V for Vendetta is a little bit of a revenge movie, and I have a revenge list. A lot of my favorite movies have something to do with revenge, and I thought V for Vendetta, and of course V for Vagina.
Revenge of the Nerds.
P for prostitution, and P for penis. And when I was in high school, I got a little bit of revenge on an upperclassman. We were in health class, and I was a freshman. And if you were a senior in health class, it meant you were probably way behind. You didn't give a shit about school. And this guy was a big, stoner, probably more than a stoner. I think he was into pills and shit. Oddly enough, his mom was the parenting teacher at our high school. And he was long-haired, stoner dude. There wasn't a whole lot of them around. But the upperclassmen always thought they could get over on you no matter what, just because they were older. It didn't matter if they, anything. And I always kind of took exception to that. I thought, well, person's a person no matter what age. But So we were on the smokeless tobacco section, health class. I don't know if they still have it. Is when they sex ed basically, and we were on smokeless tobacco, and he's asleep. So the teacher, his name was James. The teacher calls on him, and it's like, James. So he wakes up and he looks at me and he's like, what? Just say penis, man. Say penis. And he looks up and he says, penis? And the whole class starts laughing. And she's like, James, we are on tobacco. And he looked over and he said, oh, you motherfucker. But that's a little bit of revenge I got on an upperclassman at one point. And not to the level of V for Vendetta, but it is nonetheless a little
It's sad
revenge.
what health class do. It's STDs, don't get pregnant. Here's what tobacco does to your lip. Here's what this does to your dick. And then you're on your way. They don't tell, interesting facts like only 20% of females have orgasms through penetration.
That's not a great. That's a pretty depressing statistic as well.
Well, then you can learn your workarounds faster.
I think what I remember from health classes, condoms are for sailors. I don't know if that was in health class, but that's what I do remember. Well, we're getting off subject here. I do remember, though, in health class, every time they said penis, I laughed. I was 14 or 15. I'm still kind of laughing about it. You weren't allowed. But anyways, we'll move on to your number 9, or you can recap.
So number 10 for me was Natural Born Killers. Oliver Stone, Woody Harrelson, Juliette Lewis. Great Robert Downey Jr., Tommy Lee Jones. Awesome story. Rodney Dangerfield. The way it was shot with some animation and then flashing back to the 50s and everything. Yeah. That was my number 10. Number 9, I had the Maltese Falcon. Awesome classic noir film. One of the first black and white movies that I remember watching, and then watching again and again. It's directed by John Huston and stars Humphrey Bogart as Sam Spade, where crime is his career and ladies are his hobby.
Sam Spade, is he a character in anything else? That sounds so familiar. I haven't seen the Maltese Falcon.
Yeah, so it's a novel adaptation where Sam Spade is the main character of the books as well.
Is it a series?
I haven't read any of those.
Okay, I haven't either. I do know the name.
But then it said the screenplay was also done by John Huston. I know him. So I know the author didn't cross over into the making of the movie. Yeah. And I don't have a comparison. But here on Try You, it's got a 96 on the Metacritic score.
That's very, very high.
Which is nuts. Yeah. And then the rest of the cast, Mary Astor, and then Peter Lorre, he plays this really, he's awesome as this like creepy, weird, esoteric character. And I don't know if you remember the movie. He's almost as good as in Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
No, I don't remember it at all. I need to watch it.
Like for a supporting role, he's that powerful.
Oh, that's good. I need to put that on my shelf, which you can do on Try You to in your ad to watch.
And I can recommend it and send it to you. But we need people to come on and fill out their lists and send, because you and I do give great recommendations, but I'd love to see some,
we do.
some more people.
We do give great recommendations.
And
looks like giving great helmet. The only thing I know about Humphrey Bogart, Casablanca, I'm pretty familiar with.
Great movie.
He always looks like he has to take a shit to me, or he just really took a satisfying shit.
Well, he smokes so many cigarettes, which I think you can do after and before you take a shit. I think you get I think it can make you take it. I don't smoke, but.
Oh, well, something to think about. We talked about tobacco twice now. Maybe we should be using it.
Yeah.
Unless we have anything else, we can probably wrap it up here. Take shits, smoke tobacco.